Welcome to Center Heist Productions. It is April 29th, 2024, and Bob Gainey sits with me in the report card room for the reports on Montreal's future defense in Laval and below, up and coming defensemen. So please, if you could first hit the likes and subscribes, muchly needed. Trying to build a good, solid, honest community here. And this is the evaluation. True, you'll get an honest evaluation of our up and coming defense. All right, so this is it's tricky. Okay, we're going to look at Laval first. What were the positives? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to go right through the names. Toby Bison D, Oliver Guplo D, keeper -C. Logan Mailloux was probably out of. I'm not considering the guys that have been up and down from Montreal. Mailloux was probably the biggest positive down there with a B-. Norlander, major F. Reinbacker, who just joined them, can't really consider him Laval, but I just put him there. +C. Hard to judge him being on such a brutal team over there. C's. Trudeau. He was again another solid guy for Laval, and I would have given him a +C for a solid outing. Lane Hudson again, we knew he did quite well in the States, but I don't think he's going to be a part of Laval. I think he'll end up with the Habs, but hard to say what's going to transpire. He's just coming over now, and he gets a B-. I'm putting them in the ranking. This will kind of help the ranking too. And then there's Adam Enstrom. He gets a B- as well. Did quite well in his. I think he'll be brought to Laval next year. Tournier -C. You can count on him, but he's just too small. Dorendo D. Nothing spectacular. Then we got a few defensemen from Russia, and I forgot to put Bogdan there, and he kind of was a plus. I give him a slight edge to his counterparts, but I don't think you got to look at the size and everything, and his skating has some question marks. And again, these are guys, they're not in Laval, but from their ranking over in the Soviet Union, uh, or in Russia, sorry. Bogdan gets a +C, Kostenko gets a C, Soboliev gets a C, and then we got another one overseas, Misselstadt, he gets a C, and then Nurme from Finland gets a C. So a lot of C's there. So I actually just let overall ranking, that's including guys from junior and the guys, combination with Laval, and I grade the up and coming guys. This is not including the guys that are in Montreal. A C. That's pretty good compared to the F on offense. So with that being said, really the true stories when we look at this list, there's a lot of guys on here who will be AHLers, the majority of them. Norlander, he'll probably go back home. Just a major disappointment for his write-up. Trudeau is NHL material, I believe, but there's no sense of Montreal even putting him. They might as well use him as a trade chip now. He'll be positive for another club in the NHL. Not a knock against him, but we got too much stiff competition as it is. I don't think he can compete with those guys. We know Mailloux and Hudson will probably get their start in Montreal next year, I think, and that's going to make things very, very tricky how they go about this. Reinbacker, don't be surprised because I expect he'll be playing for Laval, but if he plays anything and shows the signs he showed in the last training camp, don't be surprised. And that would definitely force the Habs' hand. These guys are, I think, solid Habs of the future, those three, as far as their plan. Anyone else is going to have to be moved on. Like Tournier is an AHLer at best, and he's just too small for the NHL. Durando, not even speakable. And Bison, same thing. And Garpolo, keepers, a C-. Maybe if he can pull up his socks, he could be a backup for somebody. I don't know, as a defenseman. I don't know if he could make the NHL, though. And then we go to Bogdan and Soboliev and Misselstadt and Nurme. Now, we got to worry about the Russian thing. I don't know how soon it is where they'll be allowed to come over. Anyway, if they're allowed to come, it'd be nice to get them in Laval this year, if they're allowed. We might be able to get the Finnish guy and Misselstadt, both of those two, into Laval. But as far as the three in Russia, I'm not sure where they stand in their contracts. It'd be nice to have them in Laval. Now, these guys got talent. And everybody, we got some podcasts here and there that are making a big deal out of them. It's great to make a big deal, and that's great. They'll be good blue chip, you know, guys that we can trade because we got too much depth and too much talent already. And these guys, size wise, not a big strength. Some of them skating issues. I would say they look like they could all be NHLers over there, especially the Russian players. But I'd say these are guys you use as trade bait because Montreal's going to have too many players coming in, and I just think these guys will have to be overflow. They might be able to stick in Laval when they first come over, but they'll be trade bait at some point. Is how I figure. There's no sense rolling them in the mix. I just don't foresee it unless they blow our socks off. So yeah, I would say that, and Adam Enstrom, I expect him to be an addition to Laval, but again, he's going to make some noise. So we got in this thing. I think for competition wise, you've got Mayu, Reinbacher, Hudson, of course, Enstrom, and then of course Bogdan and Sobolev and Kostenko. But I don't put those Russian players up to that point. I don't think they're going to get to the point of the other players mentioned here. There's just too many. We can't keep them all. It's great to have star-studded defensemen, but use the rest of them as trade bait and don't even add them to the equation of the problem in Montreal because I think by the time they get there, we're going to pretty much start settling into who's going to be who. All right. So that being said, the overall evaluation turned out to be a C. It's not a bad problem, and that's promising for a bunch of young defensemen because really in Laval, it was only Logan, Mailloux, and Trudeau that were the major positives down there. And that's not including because Barron and Jack, I helped the cause quite a bit when they were sent down there, but I didn't count them as a part of Laval. So, with that being said, those were the real two positives. And now we got the addition of Hudson and Reinbacher. So, I don't foresee Montreal risking Hudson at the AHL level. I somehow think they're going to figure him into Montreal. So that being said, it's great problems ahead. And like I said, from the junior leagues, I brought those all over in the final overall and evaluate them at a C, which is pretty darn good. And it's a lot better than where the forwards are. And that'll progress when they develop in the NHL, right? But it's just where they stand right now. So thank you for joining me. That's a very simple rating of the future defenseman up and coming. And then the next episode 5, we will be dealing directly in Montreal's defense crew, which is our biggest plus right now. And this is attached to that. So it's the 1-2 punch. I had to divide them into two groups there. So thank you for joining me. Where's Puck Drop First? You've seen it here on Center Heights Productions. And you're going to find my grading system a little tougher than most. I just like we got to speak reality here, and not everybody can make the Habs, but there can be NHLers here that they can use and trade them off. So thank you for joining me, and we'll catch you in episode 5 when we deal with Montreal's direct defense at the moment. God bless.